Power Rangers live action Lord Drakkon is a reminder of how badly we need a Mighty Morphin reboot. Let's talk about it. Lord Drakkon is arguably the most popular of the Power Ranger characters who never appear in a TV show, and the closest thing to a live action version of the multiversal conqueror that we got is more than enough proof that the series needs a modern reboot. Power Rangers is currently on hiatus as there has been no new season or announcement for a new show in 2024. Earlier this year, TV Line reported that the Power Rangers reboot at Netflix was no longer moving forward. It's now unclear where the series and franchise is heading next. Cosmic Fury, the most recent entry in the Power Rangers chronology, strangely worked as a conclusion of the show's 30-year-old legacy, between Lord Zed being defeated once and for all, and Blue Ranger Billy learning that Zordon was never gone forever. Cosmic Fury's ending was a good way of saying goodbye to this version of the series if Power Rangers Season 31 never happens. However, given how big the Power Rangers brand is, it's difficult to imagine the show not continuing in some way or form. Eventually, whenever Power Rangers returns, it could use a character like Lord Drakkon. The Power Ranger comics from Boom Studios have always been some of the most exciting stuff the franchise has released in the last 8 years. Starting in 2016 with MEPR. Boom Studios published hundreds of Power Ranger comics already and has tackled a lot of characters and events. While the comics have covered so far with Mighty Morphin TV show, for the most part, they have also told a lot of original stories and even incorporated events from other series such as In Space, Time Force, and Wild Force. One of the reasons the comics have managed to combine the Mighty Morphin era with characters from other TV shows is the multiverse. The first major saga in the modern Power Ranger comics had everything to do with the multiverse and served as the franchise version of Marvel's Secret Wars. Heroes from multiple realities coming together to stop a threat that could end existence as we know it. The threat in question was Lord Drakkon, a version of Tommy Oliver from a universe where the Green Ranger remained bad and never joined the Power Rangers. By 2017, both of Boom Studios' Power Ranger books and coverage into a major event called Shattered Grid, during which Drakkon had become so powerful that he could destroy the entire universe and reshape the multiverse. To promote the series, a live-action Shattered Grid commercial was released starring the late Jason David Frank as Lord Drakkon. The original Tommy Oliver actor got to play this new yet incredibly popular version of his iconic character for multiple minutes. Well, 2 minutes actually, and it all looked very exciting. Drakkon's costume was on point, and the commercial recreated a couple of panels from the comics. The modern Power Ranger comics have been a separate thing from the TV show ever since they started. While the comics reference the show and consider everything that happened on the screen to be canon, the opposite is not necessarily the same. The comics modernized Power Rangers and brought the story from the 1990s to the present day, which itself meant that this was supposed to be a new take on a TV show. Those who enjoy in-universe explanations can assume that the comic books take place in one of the many realities of the Power Ranger multiverse. Regardless, the fact that comics and TV shows have always been separate things explains why Lord Drakkon never appeared in live action apart from that one commercial. Drakkon was a major player in several stories from the comics, but those stories were set during the Mighty Morphin era. The Power Ranger shows, however, usually take place in the present day and follows the timeline that began in 1993 with MEPR. An adaptation of Lord Drakkon would not only work in a reboot, not only because of the timeline, but also because of the tone of the comic books. It's unclear if there will ever be a Power Rangers reboot for the TV show. The most recent attempt to reimagine Mighty Morphin Power Rangers for the new generation was the 2017 movie Trash, which, despite the positive reception, bombed the box office. That said, given the uncertainty of the Power Rangers show's future, no option can be rolled out. A slightly more mature Power Rangers reboot would be a great way to revitalize the saga, even more so after the hiatus that it's currently facing. A reboot would allow Power Rangers to start fresh and use different formats. Apart from a few expectations, namely the theatrical movies Once and Always and Cosmic Fury, all Power Rangers live action releases are direct Super Sentai adaptations that combine Japanese and American footage. As much as Super Sentai is a part of the identity of the Power Rangers, there is room for Power Rangers to grow beyond Super Sentai and do its own thing going forward. Cosmic Fury, while not a perfect season, disagree, showed that Power Rangers can work even when it's not adapted Super Sentai. A reboot inspired by the comics would be a great way to do it, be it live action or animation. Even if Power Rangers never directly adapts any of the stories from the modern Power Ranger comic books on a screen, the comics should be an inspiration from whatever the franchise returns. The Power Ranger books from 2016 onwards show how to reinvent the saga and make it fresh while keeping the sense from the show. Even though Power Rangers is more than Mighty Morphin, the comics justify spending so many issues with the original team simply because of how well written all of the characters were. They also highlighted how rich the Power Rangers universe is. A character like Lord Drakkon only works because of the Power Rangers franchise can easily welcome things like time travel and multiverse. Power Rangers can be its own cinematic universe, of which a live-action Lord Drakkon could be a big bad. Adapting stories like Shattered Grid to a TV show or even a movie would be a difficult task and will come with risk, especially after the most recent Power Ranger film performed poorly at the box office. However, if successful, it would be just what Power Rangers needs to launch a new era. Okay, so whether Power Rangers is going to be home for Paramount Entertainment or somewhere that can allow the team to get creative without toning down the violence. So for me, if you're going to do a reboot, have it be done by Lord Drakkon to be adapted into Shattered Grid in animation. That's literally the only thing that can work for itself is is animation. Whether it's going to be inspired by Mutant Mayhem or just live action. Either way, I think both versions could work if done right. So, link to the article will be down below.